quick little thing here. Now, I have a question. A while ago I did a video. I was doing it based on the Ride video game, and it's not about the gameplay, it's about what's in it. I did a thing where I was talking about the bikes and the history of the bikes. I'll post a photo somewhere and in the description in case you actually get curious about what it is. And what the video was like. If you like that video or you want me to do another one like that, let me know because I'm happy to do it again. I said I'd do more, but I never did. It's basically just playing the game in the background and talking about the bike in the video. So it'd be like the history of the CBR. I think I did that one on the very first 5-layer, which was the SC28. So it'd be like a video like, oh, let's do the R1 or the OG R1 or the first cross-plane R1 or the first naked bike or something like that. You know, just let me know. Anyway, to the video.
G'day ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the YouTube channel. How are we all doing today? It is nearly 8 PM. It's a late ride because today and the day before and that has been absolutely abysmal riding weather. It's been 38, 39 degrees Celsius, which is a lot. I don't know what it is in your bloody freedom units because unlike America, we use the correct sense of temperature. Anyway, it's been way too friggin' hot to go anywhere in terms of riding, but now that it's cooled down a little bit, I thought I'd get out and do a cheeky video for you all, even though it's still in the 30s, I think, at the moment, but at least it's not in the sun. Oh man, it's going to be stormy as well. Now, as the title would suggest, I'm going to talk about naked bikes today, and now look, the title is more of a little cheeky attention grabber because YouTube, come on man, don't hate the hustle, just let me have this. But we're talking about the major problem with naked bikes, alright, and that is wind protection, okay? Now, there's multiple kinds of wind protection. There's fairings, and then there's the windshield kind of one. Now, obviously, they're all sort of interconnected anyway. Obviously, if you have a windshield, you have fairings usually. You have a windshield on your fairings usually. It's not usually like the other way around or anything. And there's nothing wrong with having, you know, all those plastics and not having any either. But whenever you're looking on the internet and you're seeing people trying to talk about buying a naked bike or a super sport bike, they always go, well, why would I want the naked bike when there's no wind protection, whereas the super sport has all the wind protection? My brother in Christ, unless you are commuting hella amounts of miles or kilometers every single day of your life, there's no need or like care to have that much wind protection. If you're doing it recreationally, I can understand, but I mean, like, there's the one right there. There was some little ninja something or other. But there's no need to have such care about fairings and wind protection on your bike, because at the average speed you're going, you don't need that much wind protection, man. Let's be honest. If you're going 60 kilometers an hour, 80 kilometers an hour, the wind is not unbearable. Like, my bike has this tiny little windshield thing on it now. It isn't really doing all that much for me, but it does definitely do more than not having it at all. That's for sure. But I couldn't see myself complaining about not having it. You know what I mean? It's not detrimental to the motorcycle to not have. Look at that ugly ass Bentley thing. Thank God that light changed. It got very, very sweaty very quickly. Oh, fifth gear and 60 Ks, we don't need that. But yeah, as I was saying, I ride a bike that is essentially naked. And I've only really had a few handful of times where the wind has been, you know, a little bit more on the unpleasant side. I did a ride out to Gisborne, which is 2 hours away, and it's a big open, like, fields, a lot of the freeways, so like I could feel a lot more of the wind, plus the wind was against me. So I was holding on as opposed to holding the handlebars, you know what I mean? If I say I'm holding on, I mean I'm getting blown off the bike kind of holding on. But I can tell you, that is not a common sort of occurrence that I've had to sort of worry about. And it's true. Like, let's be honest, unless you're trying to do top speed pulls everywhere, you're not really worrying about the wind protection. Like, right now I'm doing 60 Ks and the wind is just pleasant. And if you're living in Australia, I can assure you sometimes that wind protection is doing you less good than it is benefits, because, well, right now, oh, there's going to be a little bit of a drop here. Woo! That wind feels fantastic, okay? Now, I don't think I'll be able to actually change back into the lane with these bumps like this. It's actually rather dangerous where I'm riding. I should be careful. But yeah, dude, the wind protection isn't the end of the world. Someone's right up my ass on this thing. Of course there is. But when you're on a sports bike and you're riding around on a warmer day, you don't really feel the wind at all. You're really just sort of riding, and then if you have, like, you're sitting upright on the bike. Now, a lot of people with sports bikes don't tend to do that, but that's when the wind sort of holds your chest and up, so you're not on your wrists as much. But the super high quality, like high-end sports bikes, bubble is quite large, so even then it's not that much, you know what I mean? So it's not needed. If you're doing a lot of cold riding now this is where I can justify the bubble more so than anything. If you're riding in like a lot more of a colder sort of, you know, I'm going to go this way, coldest territory or state, maybe you do want a bit of wind protection, because it does get cold, let's be honest. It gets uncomfortable, unpleasant. But if it's not cold all year round, there's not really a need to it. But if it's cold, well, then obviously you feel a lot more wind in your chest and your legs. So when I rode the R1, one thing I noticed is I didn't feel any wind, right? I just felt the pull of the acceleration. And this is where my next point comes into town. When you're riding a naked bike, you don't need to go as fast to get the same thrill. All right, now hear me out. When you're on an R1 or a ZX10 or whatever, you have all those plastics protecting you, and when you accelerate, you feel the acceleration, but when you're at speed, you don't feel the speed as much because all you're doing is sitting in that lovely bubble. It's fun, yes, but the thrill of the speed sort of gets... You get comfortable with it really quickly, mainly because you don't feel it, all right? When you're on a naked bike, you could be going, shit, half the speed, so you can be hitting 150 to 200 kilometers an hour, and you feel you're going 150 kilometers an hour, right? Because you are experiencing the wind, as opposed to just slicing through the wind and just flying through it, mark Jesus, all right? So, if you're a little bit more torn about speeding and you want to sort of keep your license in the legal territory, a naked bike helps you do that in the street riding. Now, for street riding, naked bikes also tend to be more comfortable than sports bikes, so that you can do bigger rides on them, all right? You don't need to have all that wind protection to have a comfortable ride. And if you do, you can just put a windshield on your bike, and then all of a sudden, bam, your bike is now completely comfortable to ride in the windy conditions. One thing people don't seem to realise is that sports bikes, as sick as they are like sails on the side. So if you get a crosswind, you're more liable to like change lanes unexpectedly because, well, your bike is now catching all that wind. My cheek is incredibly itchy all of a sudden. Hold on, bear with me. Ah, look at that beautiful sun peeking through. Yeah, like I was saying, when you're really, say you're riding through an open area, and then a big crosswind happens. On this bike, my bike's only 192 kilos wet, I can feel the wind. Now, if you're on a sports bike, especially the older ones that just have the big, you know, big plastics without the gaps in them, like a lot of the newer sports bikes have more gaps in them, you're just going to get thrown over to one side, you know what I mean? So, you just got to be more aware of that. Like in a section like right here, okay? You'll feel that crosswind hit you and move you across, and it's not fun. It can sort of take you by surprise. Now, look, to get away from crosswinds, you sort of just go faster, or you got to be a bit more aware, but on a naked bike, you don't have to be as aware because the bikes already make you hyper aware of everything, and the less you'd have to worry about on the bike, honestly, the better it gets. Now, that doesn't mean I think anything badly about either or, sports or naked, all right? I just don't like the people giving the argument saying you have to. You know, I'm really curious to what this road is. So I've ridden down there a million times, but I've never once gone through here, and it looks funny, so I'm going to go explore. You remember that last video I did just exploring? I thought it was quite good. As in, I enjoyed it. I don't know what everyone else thought of it, but I had a blast doing that. Whew. But yeah, dude, riding on a bike with no wind protection, I haven't really found any major issues to complain about it, honestly. Because I was looking into, because I got curious because I started talking about the caddies recently, so I looked into the Street Fighter V2s and the Panigale V2s. Besides them roasting your eggs on as you sit down and ride them, everyone's bitching about the wind protection. I'm like, man, I haven't really ever seen any issue with wind protection on motorcycles, let's be honest. Oh, actually, you know what? This is more fitting for me to go to the left here. If the freeway's down that way. That's in neutral, Nathan. What are you doing? Because wind protection. I was curious about what's down there. You know what? I can always come back. What am I doing? I'm so like all over the place right now. But this looks fun, and I'm sorry, the freeway is great and all, but I've never been down here, so there's only one way to learn. Ooh, it's a little run down looking. Oh my god, that place is full abandoned factory. I'm sorry, let's go have a quick cheeky gander at that. I'm sorry, dude and dudettes, but that is purely too much fun to ignore. Boink. I mean, look at this thing. Obviously, I'm not going to stick around. I'm just having a look. But damn, I love these kind of things. Sorry, I've gone off on a big distraction section, but how couldn't you here? So obviously, you got a whole section back here. Try to avoid all the dangers on the ground. Got piles of garbage everywhere. There's no need to go up there. That's just another car park section. But this is a funky something or other. What in the tarnest of nations? Brother, it's almost unsettling coming into a place like this. Because then you come into these kind of places, and you never know, because you could meet all kinds of people in a place like this. You know what? I'm sorry, we're taking a quick detour to take a photo of this thing. It's too awesome. So I was looking as I was riding. I'm doing a video currently, but I took a detour. Look at this place that I'm in. It's just some abandoned factory. There's a whole bunch more to it here, but I just had to take a stop and have a look. How awesome is this? Sorry, I got distracted with this place. Anyway, let's continue looking. Yeah, don't worry, we'll get back to the video topic at hand, but when you got blessed with a place like this, how could you not enjoy it? definitely one of those places that if there was a security guard, you'd get kicked out of because it's unsafe. Alright, man, it's amazing how many places are like this, just left behind and abandoned. Prams and such. Dude, this is hella dodgy, isn't it? I'm surprised there's not a single person here. But also I'm kind of glad there isn't. Damn. I'm in disbelief, I'm sorry. I'm just exploring and having the time of my life right now. This is a graffiti person's, like, dream. Not that I do any of that shit, but still. Insane. I wonder what this place was. But dude, as I was saying, when it comes to naked bikes and sports bikes, the argument people give for most of them is just so asinine. Oh, I need to have wind protection, I need to have this, that, and the other. It's like, brother, no you don't. You're just full of shit, and you just need an excuse to complain about something. I'm a little bit scared to see if my tyres get punctured by anything by coming around here. So, ooh, this is a bit more spooky, isn't it? What an area. Where the fuck am I? Ugh. But ladies and gents, all I'm saying is I find the argument a little childish for the most part, because it really is. I really hope I don't run over a screw or something. Because, dude, half the time you're riding at normal speeds anyway, so the wind protection isn't necessary. Like I said, unless you're doing massive commutes all the time, where I can justify and understand that you need to have such protection. But most of the time you're really not doing anything that requires you to have crazy wind protection anyway, so there's no real need. So all I'm saying is, like, oh man, look at my bike, there's wind protection, there's nothing on it. This is all you get, alright? This is nothing, alright? It does something, but it ain't crazy, and I don't understand the need to have more, so I'm happy with it. And all I'm saying is you don't need really any more than that. If you're telling yourself that you drastically need it, man, I don't know what to tell you, you're just fooling yourself. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to continually explore this place just a little bit more by myself, and hope you have a wonderful day. So take it easy, keep it cheesy, ride safe and be safe, and as always, peace. Bye!